Hi, I'm Ruth, and to celebrate National Baking Week I'm going to show you how to bake Nielsen Massey macaroons. For the ingredients you will need 2 lots of 80 ml of egg whites, which is approximately the egg whites from 2 to 3 eggs. You'll need 1 teaspoon of Nielsen Massey vanilla extract, 200 grams of caster sugar, 80 ml of water. For the paste you'll need 200 grams of icing sugar, 200 grams of ground almonds, and your second 80 ml of egg whites. For the vanilla buttercream, you'll need 125 grams of unsalted butter, 250 grams of icing sugar, and 1 teaspoon of Nielsen Massey vanilla bean paste. So to begin with, we're going to make our paste. You'll need a large bowl and a sieve. We're going to sieve together the ground almonds and the icing sugar. Make sure it all goes through the sieve. You might need to encourage it through with a spatula. So we're going to add 80 ml of egg whites and mix it to a smooth but thick paste. So once it's a nice thick paste, if you wanted coloured macaroons, now's the time to do it using a little gel paste. I'm going to colour these red. Gel paste is preferable to use over a liquid because it doesn't change the consistency of the macaroons. Mix it in until the colour is even. So now we've coloured our paste, we're going to get on with our Italian meringue. So into the bowl of a stand mixer goes your second 80 ml of egg whites. And into a pan you need the 200 grams of caster sugar and 80 ml of water. We're going to mix up the egg whites until they reach the foamy, soft peak stage and then turn the mixer off. We're going to add in 1 teaspoon of Nielsen Massey vanilla extract. And beat that in again. We're then going to make our sugar syrup, so we need to go over to the hob. And you'll also need a sugar thermometer. You need to heat your sugar syrup until it comes to a temperature of 110 degrees centigrade and no further. Any further and it will ruin your Italian meringue. So keep a good eye on it. So turn it on, a medium heat. And you can swirl it, but I'd advise you not to put a spoon into there, otherwise sugar crystals may start to form. We're going to heat this until the sugar dissolves in the water. As the sugar melts, the syrup clears, and that's when you need to get your thermometer into there and check it. We need it to go to 110 degrees. At which point we're going to take it from the heat and turn on the stand mixer again. So with the meringue whisking, we're going to pour in the sugar syrup in a very thin, even, steady stream. Once all the sugar syrup has been added, you need to continue whisking the Italian meringue until it cools to room temperature. So the mixture is cooled to room temperature and the bowl is now cooled to the touch. So the Italian meringue is ready for us to work with. You can see it's gone extremely thick and glossy. I'm going to take 1/3 of the Italian meringue and beat it into the paste to loosen it. It's quite tough to begin with. You then need to add this loosened paste to your Italian meringue. I'm going to fold these two mixtures carefully together using either a flat-bladed spatula or a palette knife. You need to do it very slowly and carefully. You don't want to knock the air out of the meringue and you need to get it to just the right consistency. So begin folding and turning, lifting the Italian meringue into the almond paste mixture. The mixture's not quite folded in enough because it's plopping from the spoon rather than falling in a smooth ribbon. So a little bit more mixing, but not too much. It may need a lot of mixing, it may need only a tiny bit of mixing just to get you to this stage. But it's important to do it slowly and pay attention so that when you're at exact the right consistency, you can stop. So when it's falling in a nice thin stream of ribbon from your spatula, that's when it's ready. So now it's time to fill the piping bag. You'll need a large disposable piping bag, a pair of scissors and a plain 1 centimetre open nozzle. 1 centimetre is ideal. Any wider than that and the macaroon mixture will be dropping out before you can pipe it confidently. It's also helpful if you have a jug or a tall glass. So we're going to snip the end off the piping bag and drop in the nozzle. You can then create a twist in the piping bag. This will stop the mixture falling out whilst you're filling the bag. And stand it into a jug, pushing it in, folding over the top, so you've got a nice recess for your macaroon mixture. Carefully put your macaroon mixture into your piping bag. You can just work with half at a time if you prefer. Set that to one side. You'll also need a baking tray lined with a non-stick sheet or a sheet of baking paper. Gather up the outside of your piping bag, unfold and squeeze your macaroon mixture down. So now we're ready to pipe. We're going to pipe small circles onto the non-stick baking tray, evenly spaced well apart. They are going to spread slightly in the oven and we don't want them joining together. So you need to pipe confidently. Twist the nozzle and up. And then your next one. Squeeze gently, twist and away. So that's one tray filled. You repeat that process, piping all your macaroons out onto your baking trays. You need to give them a sharp wrap, which helps build the foot of the macaroon. So, a couple of sharp taps on the work surface, and these need to be set to one side now for up to an hour to allow a skin to form. You should be able to touch the macaroon with your finger once the skin is fully there. So once the skin's formed on the macaroons, we're going to pop them into the oven. They go in at 120 for 13 to 15 minutes, and we'll get on with making the filling. Into the bowl of a stand mixer, we're going to put 125 grams of softened butter, 250 grams of icing sugar, and 1 teaspoon of Nielsen Massey vanilla bean paste. And to beat that together to a lovely smooth buttercream. Slowly to begin with, otherwise you'll have icing sugar everywhere. So once the buttercream's all mixed up, you're going to use the same technique for filling a piping bag. Snip the end of the piping bag off and fit another plain open nozzle, dropping it down into the bag and then pulling it firmly. Give it a twist above the nozzle, which stops the filling from dropping out. And then using a jug or a tall glass again, push the piping bag in and fold the top over the lip of the jug. Fill the piping bag with the buttercream. Take the piping bag out of the jug, squeeze down the buttercream. You can keep the twist in the end of the bag, and we'll put that aside to use later. So after 13 to 15 minutes at 120, the macaroons will be ready to come out of the oven. Allow them to cool for a few moments on the baking tray until they're cool enough for you to handle. So once those have cooled enough for you to handle them, transfer them to a wire rack. If you can, match them up in pairs, similar sizes together. Now taking your buttercream that you made earlier, untwist the nozzle and squeeze the buttercream down. Take 1 macaroon and pipe on your filling just within the edge, so that when you sandwich the next one on top, squeeze them together, the filling comes towards the edge. Repeat that with all your macaroons until they've all been filled. So there we have our Nielsen Massey vanilla macaroons.